Green Bay day to day. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Beefy Bitch. I did my best to deaden the sound, to soundproof. But I'm in the midst of like a fucking. It's just, I don't know. It's not quite tornadic, but the winds are getting up pretty fucking gusty. So do try to bear with me. Hopefully it just dies down and we don't have to worry really about it. But I don't know. Let's just jump into week 6 and just fucking go for it. So yeah, it looks like the Packers are that bad. The defense actually forced a 3-point first half, but that didn't matter because the Packers offense also only forced 3 points. So great. 27-10, and there's nothing really to, Packers couldn't even really begin drives, much less sustain them. The defense just kind of petered out eventually, which I guess I kind of get. After a while, you just kind of, you throw up your hands defensively and you say, like, guys, can you help us out by scoring some points? But it's concerning because, I'm not trying to, like, belittle Zach Wilson. He could do some great things in the NFL if he really, puts his nose to the grindstone. But he's clearly a guy that he threw 10 completions out of 18 total, I think, 18 total passes. So it's not like, the Packers just got kicked in the dick or anything silly like that. No, they didn't play well. The Jets, I didn't feel, played very well, and I guess at least offensively, because did they sack Aaron Rodgers 4 times, I think? Maybe 5? I think it was 4. So yeah, I mean, it's a tried and true method. Kick the Packers in the dick, and they will just wait until the game is over. So then that's what being a Packers fan is right now. That's the thing that kind of sucks, guys, is that, like, I don't know, every game this season has felt like, besides the Bears, like, even when you're winning, you are losing until the game is over. Like, until that clock strikes zeros in the 4th. And even then, sometimes it's like, you're going into overtime. So I don't know. I obviously I don't know. Like, we fucking had, hell, I don't know how many rushing attempts. 20, all said, I guess. Which is against 45 passing attempts. That's not great. Like, if you had 20 rushing attempts, you'd like to have 30 passing attempts. Just like that, like 1.5 to 1 pass to rush, respectively. But it's not like they shied away from it. But that's like kind of part and parcel with like this, like, what's going on? Because, in previous weeks, it's like, we'll just run the damn ball, But, one of those drives had it had a 7 or something like that, like a 7 or an 8-yard run, and then they incomplete. Well, what the fuck, I don't know, try to sustain some kind of a ground game, man. I don't know. It's just getting irritating. It would be awesome, I think, to go to a Packers game. I know this is a bit of an overreaction. You don't really do this unless your team's been bad for like a decade plus. But to put like an L on the top of a paper bag, just like a nasty looking L, just one that's like rudimentary. L owner on the bottom, and then a G in the middle of the two. That like looks incredibly pretty, and then with the eye holes and shit, and go to a game and stuff, because it's just like, man, it's like, I wouldn't mind if it was like, it's going into overtime, we didn't get the coin toss, or, just like, somehow we, Aaron Jones fumbled in the end zone and we just couldn't quite get it. No, it's just getting our teeth kicked in, that's it, not really playing bad, not, well, no, it's, I should say, not really playing loose, we're just playing bad, and that's almost It's almost worse. Like, I don't know. I got a lot of love and respect for somebody that's like they're a Raiders fan, and they've been a Raiders fan forever. It's like, I mean, at least you fucking know, you know. So, but like it, you know, like I said, it's slightly comforting to know that we're not going to even really be in the playoffs to talk about. Like, well, maybe they could go to the Super Bowl or something, you know. So, okay, let's take some questions and then we'll talk about a few of the interesting games of the week. Can the Packers recover? Well, I mean, they can recover, I guess, but you know, again, this is that kind of defeat where it's like, you know, you're not tying up some kind of like loose end, like, oh, you just got to protect the ball better, Aaron Jones, or something like that. You know, it's or you know, make sure you look the ball into your hands, Lazard, or something like that. It's Aaron Rodgers looks worse than pedestrian. I don't know. You hold a team to 3 points, and I don't care who they are. You hold them to 3 points. That's damn good, you know. Even if it's just for a half, even if you kind of collapse in the second half, because I think it's easy as a defense to look at the other side of the football. You know, to look at the other side of the other side of the football and be like, fellas, you know, it'd be nice if you scored some points. So I don't know. You know, we'll have to see. It's early enough into the season to be like, well, I'm not fucking writing the Packers off, but I'm certainly not believing in them at all, you know. Bills beat the Chiefs. Is this guaranteed? No, I mean, it's not guaranteeing that they'll win the Super Bowl. But, you know, I mean, things are looking fucking damn good for you. Patrick Mahomes threw a couple of picks, and that's one of those things where it's like, yes, you won, but, you know, but you did win in Arrowhead. So there's nothing to like, oh, well, you know, could we do it again? No, you very probably will, honestly. I think the Bills are the better team. The Bills suited the better quarterback, you know, at least yesterday. Again, I think that they're the odds-on favorite, but you know, who knows? Josh Allen goes down, you know, for even a couple of games, and it's like, well, you're not even fucking talking about that anymore, you know. So I don't know. Broncos Chargers. Yeah, I don't. Is there anything to say about the Broncos? I'm sure, you know, it's a divisional game, so the Broncos could really come out strutting their stuff, but I don't know. Even vastly and deeply injured as they are, the Chargers still look like the nominally better team. So I don't really think it's much to talk about. The Bucs lost in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. Right? 18 points. Again, it comes down to a 2-point conversion, and they can't do it. And Tom Brady only threw 1 touchdown. So I don't know. I think a lot of teams are just kind of lacking in an identity. On the Packers side of things, it's just like, I think that it's time to let Aaron Rodgers be just a game manager. You know, there's no reason, I think, really, honestly, for him to throw like 23 plus, you know, keep it in that low-ish mid-20s. You know, I'll go up to like 26. But this like fucking 41 passes and shit. And Tom Brady's been like that for, gosh, at least last year, you know. And I know that he kind of lit the league up as far as like touchdowns goes, but it's like, you know, it's not a good thing necessarily, right? It's not bad, obviously, but it's not really good to have that many yards with that many touchdowns, because it just means like a lot of yards stall, or excuse me, a lot of drives stall, or you know, you score on the ground, or you end up kicking a field goal. So, but I don't know. I mean, you gotta expect that they'll drop one that's kind of inexplicable. Every team does. You know, nobody really lost their minds when the Chiefs lost to the Colts. So, you know, kind of keep going on, right? Eagles stay undefeated. Yeah, not much of a question, my man. But yeah, no, you know what? It was 20-0 for a minute, and then it very quickly was 20-17. So I was like, oh, the beginning of the ruination. No, but you know, yeah, they stay undefeated. They looked more or less good last night. You know, they're looking less and less like oh, well, you know, they've only really beaten bad teams, even though that's more or less true. and the Cowboys without their starting quarterback. We'll have to see. But they're looking like they're going to be the first seed. So, which is, wow, remember how they squeezed into the playoffs last year and then got their asses handed to them. So, how far one season can take you, with a new head coach. I mean, it's looking good. Kyler looks bad on a per half basis. Yeah. Didn't Nick Wright do the math? This morning, I was listening to his podcast. He did the math. I think it was like 31 first half points through 6 games or something like that, or 30 or something like that. No, because it was like 5, he said, on average. It's not good. That ain't great. That's what Nick Wright would say. When they put that kind of clause in his contract like that, you got to wonder, like, what is, how dedicated is this guy? He got his money. And I felt very strongly like all he had to do was just perform, just do the things that a quarterback does. And there is no quarterback that you talk about that doesn't, religiously study film. And it just looks like he's missing on some things, It looks like, I'm not a scheme guy at all. I never have been. But it does look like sometimes it's like the point is like whenever there's a pick, that is like a rub, I should say, I guess, in a scheme. It's like, okay, obviously the idea is that one of them will come open. And the thesis would be like, obviously, the bigger completion. But, sometimes you got to take that underneath the rub. And he's not even looking over there, it doesn't look like. Yeah, so, who knows. But, okay, Rams beat the Panthers. But, Matthew Stafford threw another interception. Otherwise it's like, whatever, you got the win. Like, even if it's like, it was one of the least convincing double-digit victories I've seen in some time. I'm not saying anything bad about the Rams. I think they'll make the postseason and stuff, and who cares about the way, the way up to the postseason, who cares how you do. But it's something worth considering, that it's like, even still, the Rams had, Stafford had only had 253 passing yards, which isn't like bad. It's fine. But Cooper Kupp only had 17 receiving yards. Henderson had like 70 something, I think. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I get if you live and die by the cup, that's more or less, it's part and parcel of who you are. But he didn't have a good day. He won, I know, but it's still a little bit concerning. Giants, with another comeback, yeah. Giants win big. Was that in Baltimore? No, it was in New York. Okay, so, I don't know. I think at 5-1, it's time to kind of take the Giants seriously. And wow, Joe Judge, what a difference Ben McAdoo's made. So it's crazy how many times it can come down to coaching. It's more or less all I got to say. But, I don't know. Lamar hasn't looked wonderful. Neither really has Daniel Jones, but Saquon Barkley, it turns out he's still a good running back, right? So, good for them. And then, we did talk about the Bills a little bit, but the Chiefs dropped one at home. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's when Patrick Mahomes throws a couple interceptions like that, it's too bad, right? If you're a Chiefs fan, you're looking forward. You're going to get the next one. But as we sit here today, right now, it is what it is. Now you've got a little bit of catching up to do if you want that first round bye. If you're going to be in contention for that, and it could come down to one of a few teams that injuries that happen to all teams. So, but it's one of those things that if you're a Chiefs fan, I don't really think that you're too low on it, and if you're a Bills fan, I don't think that you're too high on it. And that's really, guys, that's all that I had to say about the entire week. I don't I don't imagine that there's going to be much to talk about later this late game on Monday night. I think that the Chargers will win relatively convincingly, and that's more or less all that I got. You can follow me at GB_D2D at Twitter, and you can email me at GB-D2D@outlook.com. But you guys have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Love ya.